Good morning. Welcome. I'm Stephen Schneider, President of the Beth Brotherhood. On behalf of the TBA Brotherhood Board, we welcome you all to our May breakfast. We look forward to another entertaining and educational breakfast this morning with our guest speaker, the head of Downtown Framingham, Inc., Reyad Shah. This organization is key to the continued revitalization of our downtown community and will help the city move successfully into the future. I would also like to welcome any of our religious school parents that have joined us. Again, our religious school parents are welcomed at no charge so that they can learn about Brotherhood and our activities and to help these families become a part of the Temple community. I would also like to thank the many people that not only donated money to the Show a Yellow Candle program at our last breakfast, but the many that have also mailed in donations over the last couple of weeks. Supporting this program is important to not only Jews, but to non-Jews as well, and we appreciate the many donations of all sizes. Your generosity at our last breakfast alone brought in $100 in cash, which as promised has been matched by Slotnick Monuments. Thank you all again. On a more serious note, having recently being touched by suicide in my own family, I ask you all to please take a moment to step back and realize you do not know what someone else is feeling or thinking and what issues they may be having in their own lives. For so many, life is not always easy and can be very lonely, and for many, these emotions are something that they find very difficult to handle or control. As I have mentioned before, there is always help available. Your friends, family, clergy, professional organizations like Call to Talk or the Samaritans, and even us volunteers at Brotherhood are available. Sometimes a simple hello and smile is all someone needs to change their entire day. On behalf of the unknown person that you may make a difference to, I thank you. Our membership is open to all Temple members and non-members and inclusive to all faiths. We gladly welcome you and hope to make these breakfasts a place where you can relax, enjoy an excellent meal, and catch up with friends. Again, thank you to your support as we continue to underwrite a variety of local charities and the Temple. We could not be as successful as we are without you. I would also like to thank our volunteer kitchen crew for cooking this morning and working so hard in setting up the room. Without their hard work and efforts, we would not be able to bring you this event.
So Reyad Shah, a proud resident of Framingham, Mass., and Northeastern University graduate, brings over 15 years of invaluable experience in the nonprofit and education sectors to his role as Executive Director of Downtown Framingham Incorporated. Born and raised on the vibrant south side of Framingham, Reyad's passion for community development was cultivated from a young age. Reyad is dedicated to serving his community. His commitment to making a difference has seen him spearhead numerous initiatives aimed at enhancing the lives of residents and fostering economic growth within Framingham. As the Executive Director of Downtown Framingham, Reyad is at the forefront of revitalizing the heart of the city, working tirelessly to create a thriving and inclusive downtown area that serves as a hub for commerce, culture, and community engagement. Reyad's leadership, coupled with his deep-rooted connection to Framingham, positions him as a catalyst for positive change, driving forward the vision of a vibrant and prosperous downtown for generations to come. Speaking this morning on Downtown Framingham, please give a warm Brotherhood welcome to Reyad Shah.
Thank you. All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you again for having me, Stuart. Thank you, and to the entire Brotherhood here at Temple Beth Am. Really excited to be here to share my story, connect with all of you, and answer any questions you might have about Downtown Framingham Inc., myself, and where we're going. A life is not important except in the impact it has on others. And so this has kind of stuck with me as I grew professionally, as I became a young person. Again, as Stuart mentioned, I grew up here in Framingham on the south side. I grew up in Tripoli. neighborhood over there by La Cantina. Went to Barberry. I was in the first ESL class in Framingham. Went through the entire public school, Walsh, Framingham High School, and just really fell in love with what the city and the school department and the community really gave to me as a young person. And I really saw that as an opportunity as I grew into my professional self, an opportunity to make an impact and give back, and not just myself and my family, but others that really impacted my life. And as I go through this today, you'll kind of see some reoccurring themes, hopefully some funny tidbits, and some information about going forward. So the collection. This stands true to me across the board, all three of these pictures. So we'll go left to right. Right there is my first day of first grade in Framingham, living in Tripoli, and that young person right there, John Kwazik, still my friend to this day. 30 plus years of friendship, was in my wedding, and I think that just speaks to the consistency and connections that I can build, or that I'd like to continue to build here in the city. In the middle there, that is at one of our friends' birthday party, and we're like at home hanging out, and like, who raises their hand for a piece of cake at home at a birthday party? So I'm just patiently waiting for my piece of cake at home. So I think that speaks to my patience, my ability to wait and weather the storm. And again, you'll kind of hear more of that as we go through this. And lastly is like, I just like to have fun. So dressing up, that Ninja Turtle outfit is something that, I don't fit into this day, but it's something that you'll see as I come up through this. Is just, I like to be fun, exciting, take things not too serious at heart, because, life's too short, and we want to enjoy as much as we can. And so again, this is our 5th grade graduation picture, and this is just really important to me because it really just solidified the fact that, wow, I'm becoming bilingual here in this city, and the school department gave me that opportunity. My family comes from Trinidad and Tobago. We speak English there. It's in the Caribbean. It's a small dual island off the coast of Venezuela. And so for me to be able to come to Framingham Public Schools and start speaking Spanish, and then realize how much of an opportunity and skill set that is in this community, and further across the Commonwealth, to be able to have that skill set to engage with community members, to engage with business owners, to engage with universities and other local dignitaries, to make sure that we are getting the voices heard and advocating for all those here that represent the city of Framingham. So this is a quote I heard from most recently the town manager, Michael Herbert, in Ashland, and that he's firm on his outcome, but flexible on my approach. And I think that's true as I am the executive director of downtown Framingham. Is, I'm firm on the outcome of revitalization and driving traffic down there and making people want to come down and feel excited and eat fried chicken on Tuesdays for $1.25 and get $2 tacos on any day of the week and come down to Jack's Abbey for a beer and then get a margarita pizza to go. But you got to be flexible. Things happen. There's barriers, there's hurdles. And so as long as you can be flexible on your approach, but firm on your outcome, is something that really is going to help push us as a city to really help continue the revitalization of downtown, but help continue to grow our city as we'd like to see it. And so here starts my professional kind of nature here. So my background is early education and leadership and organizational studies. So here we have myself, again, being a big kid in an early education classroom, special ed class, really working with the students and trying to find my inner teaching skills and how do I connect with kids and just to be a kid, right? They want you to have fun because that's how they're going to connect with you. So we created a nice jungle component, and we made safari hats, and I made my own safari hat, and it was a great time. And this is just something that I reflect back to all the time, is to keep me young, exciting, and work is not that serious from time to time, and you can have some fun while you're there. And then the other picture there with the basketball in the small group is something that I've been doing for the last about 15 years as well, is coaching basketball, giving back, either volunteering at Metro West Youth Basketball, coaching for the school department, middle school, the high school, things of that nature. And And giving back and coaching is something that's really close to my heart too, because the progress you see in each kid is very different, and how you can connect to a player on the court and get them excited by doing something different. So being a teacher in the classroom, right? 2 + 2 is 4, right? 1 + 1 is 2. But on the court, you could be 6'3" and be really, really good, or not shoot or not dribble, but you could be like 5'3" and be like one of the best basketball players on the court. So being able to really pull the best out of every player and situation is something that, again, I'm firm on my outcome, trying to make the best possible situation for our team, but flexible on the approach is finding out what is the best scenario for each player on the court and how do I help them succeed as best as I can. From what we get, we can make a living. From what we give, however, makes a life. And again, just this is now me starting my professional career in Walsh Middle School, and again, the community impact that I had. So I had the opportunity. I started working in the Framingham Public School Department going on 10 years ago now, and I was working with a young student who had Down syndrome, and it really, really opened up my eyes to life is a lot larger than just work, and really, really expanded my outlook on making an impact on others and being able to connect with large student groups and take them out into the city of Boston to see where they can connect with their own heritage, right? We went into the south end of Boston to the local Hispanic neighborhood, and we went to Vejigantes, which is a Puerto Rican restaurant there in the South End. Is delicious. If you've never been, I highly suggest going there. But also downtown Framingham too. But this is just something, just get outside of the doors and connect with folks, and that's what I do as downtown Framingham. Is I don't sit behind a desk. I don't ask you to come to my office. I'm getting out there on the streets and connecting with business owners, connecting with residents, connecting with the city departments. I probably walk about 15,000 steps on average a day. And that's just because there's so many businesses out there, and there's so many stairs to climb and so many doors to open and close. And I don't want to leave any stone unturned. So I want to make sure that I can do my best ability to be seen and heard, but also listen as well. It was when I realized I needed to stop trying to be somebody else and be myself. I actually started to own and accept and love what I had. There it is, me being a big kid again. So as we continue this role here as community impact, creating connections, and just being engaged and not taking things too serious. Both these pictures are at Walsh Middle School. The one on the left was the first fundraiser for Why Not Devon at Walsh Middle School. And for those who don't know, Why Not Devon was a young man that passed away to DIPG, I believe, and they wanted to do a fundraiser at Walsh Middle School, and his favorite character was the Green Lantern. And when the email got sent out, I think I ran down to the principal's office. I was like, I'm in. Tell me what I have to do. So during our 3-on-3 fundraiser, I dressed up as the Green Lantern, and we had brought Devin in as a cool fundraiser to be with his superhero as his last couple times here with us, and he was super excited, and the family was able to connect with the school community, and they're still doing a fundraiser to this day. They have a 5K. They have a 5K coming up in November at Jack's Abbey, Devin's 5K Dash, so be on the lookout for more information of that. And then on the right is our winter concert, where who doesn't love to have Frosty dancing while the kids are having their winter concert. So again, I took the opportunity to take work not so seriously and make a connection outside of being a teacher, and 2 + 2 is 4 all the time. Success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life as by the obstacles in which he has overcome. And so this is part of where I started struggling with, do I want to be a basketball coach? Do I want to be a community leader? Do I want to be a teacher? But I knew I wanted to make an impact with young people. So here is where I kind of really took the jump of making myself a basketball trainer. Started going to USA basketball camps, started going to clinics, university trainings, but also getting connect with other leaders. So in the big picture over there to your left, I don't know if you can see, but that is the current Governor Maura Healey coaching basketball. And this is when she was the Attorney General, and I didn't really know who she was. And she just kind of walked in the gym, no security. She had gym clothes on. She's like, "Hey, I'm Maura." It's like, "Hey, I'm Reyad." And I was like, "Great, so you're going to be running this clinic over here, and then I'm going to do this one over here." And then she's on the other side of the gym, and the time's up, and I'm blowing my whistle. I'm like, "Maura, get over here." I'm like yelling at her, not realizing who she is until somebody comes up to me really, really closely after and goes, "You know you were just yelling at the Attorney General, right?" I was like, so then I go over and apologize. And she's like, "No, no, 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 no. This is basketball. We're both coaches out here on the floor. You do what you need to do to get these kids in line." And that's where I really realized that, people at that level, right, they just want to be people as well, right? They don't want to be glorified. They just want to be as a community member. They're trying to make an impact in their community. So that really showed me that, you know, people in large impact positions can still be at the lowest tertiary level of just coming in and being a community member. And so I really own that as just being a community member and being able to listen and making an impact as best as I can in whatever facet that is. And then the other ones there are just Old Marion High School, as you can see up on the top right there. There's a few final years there. We rented out the gym, very, very hot gym. We had to rent seven fans just to keep cool a little bit. But that's where we started renting out, and I started my basketball career as a trainer, small group organizer, and stuff like that. We had brought in some college kids. Some of those girls there are current high school players or have just recently graduated. So I was able to work with them through middle school, through their high school careers, and then be able to see them kind of graduate and flourish into college players, some of them, and now professionals in the community, which is really nice. And some of them want to volunteer for DFI. So I have some of my basketball players now volunteering at DFI events. So it's really nice to be able to bring that full circle and make that connection, and seeing not just as a teacher, but as a community member and a coach, and them seeing me as just an ally and a friend, and not just, "Oh, that's Mr. Shah or Coach Shah," even that some of them still call me that. And I'm like, "You're 22. And I don't measure a man's success by how high he climbs, but how high he bounces back when he hits the bottom." And so this is really, really, I think, important for me, because I didn't have a straight pathway. And something that I like to tell all my young students is that everyone's pathway is not straight lined. Everyone's path is different. And, when I graduated high school, and I was like, I want to go be sports management, I'm going to go right into the field. And I went to school, I went to Westfield, and I hated it. I didn't like what I was doing. I changed my major 4 times. And then I came to a conclusion that I was just kind of wasting my own money, wasting my parents' money. So I took that opportunity. I took a break, took that summer off, got a job at Suburban Athletic Club, which is now Smock Suburban downtown, was a lifeguard, had 3 saves that summer. And that really was what really pushed me into the nonprofit, community impact. Not so much the saves. I mean, the saves was very, very important, but just being with kids in the community and seeing resources connecting and giving families opportunities to get more than what they had at little to no cost, or letting them know of things that they had no idea were right around the corner from them was really, really inspiring to me. And so these are just some pictures of me as I through the years there on the left. That is a conference that myself and a young woman went to when I was still working at the school district. We presented for after school programming down in New York at a Rise Up conference, which is really exciting to talk about the school district and the out of school time programming that we were doing there. In the middle, that is my mother and my grandmother as I graduated Northeastern. Again, after I left Westfield, I took that time off to find myself, got super excited about engagement, and I went back to Mass Bay, got my early ed degree, and then went to Northeastern and finished my degree there. During that time, I was working full-time, going to class at night at Northeastern, trying to figure it out. And then lastly, on that right is most recently is me accepting an award at the Metro West Chamber of Commerce annual gala this past year as Emerging Leader of 2023. So that was really exciting to be noticed within my first year of getting this role, and the connections, the opportunities, the the excitement that's happening on downtown Framingham and bringing back downtown Framingham as a staple organization to help revitalize the city as a whole. And this is my current life. That's my wife there, and that is our current wedding. And what I really wanted to mention about this is that the bounce back. Sorry, I'm having some flashbacks of it. So the morning of my wedding, 3 o'clock in the morning, I get 3 phone calls. It's my DJ. Hey, I'm not coming in. Do I wake up my wife and tell her? Or do I try to figure this out on my own? So I didn't wake her up. Me and my groomsmen, we started frantically searching up DJs that were playing at venues that night, and hopefully somebody was going to answer. And so we called somebody, and they answered, and they're like, "Is this a scam? What are you doing? Like, why are you calling me about a DJ event? I just left." And then he's like, then after like getting through, my DJ just canceled the whole, kit and caboodle. He goes, "Well, the only reason I answer is my wife is from Worcester, and we answered because it was a 508 number. So you have my attention." So, sigh of relief there. Okay, he's from Massachusetts. We have the 508 connection. He's got to do this. And so, long story short, after being on the phone till 7:30 in the morning of the wedding, going through the entire song list, through the pronunciation of everybody's name, through the pronunciation of my name about 17 times, we finally got there. A couple hours of sleep. He showed up early. He was the most unbelievable DJ I've ever seen. He is now the staple DJ for that venue. So being in a nonprofit role and being able to help a small business owner, not in Massachusetts, but being able to help another small business owner in another community was just like really exciting to be like, wow. And my wife was like, wow, you really just can't give up work even on your wedding, right? But it's exciting. It's to see that we can make connections wherever we are, and take the opportunity, whether how low you might be feeling on your wedding day, to the excitement and the feedback and to hear from other folks. So don't bring people in your life who weigh you down, and trust your instincts. Good relationships feel good. They feel right. They don't hurt. And so that brings me to downtown Framingham and the relationships that I've built in my first 16, 17 months here of this role. It is so overwhelming, the unwavering support from the downtown community. They're so inviting. Every single space you walk into, you feel like you're a family member. Just like I walked into this door today, everyone greeted me with open arms. Hey, do you want food? Do you want a drink? Do you want to hang out? Here's a table. Do you want to sit? Same way you walk into any of those stores. Hey, do you want a cappuccino? Do you want cheese bread? And you could be at a travel agency. And you're like, wait a second, how does this doesn't add up? But it's the environment that they want to create for you. They want to create something where you feel welcome, where you can come and hang out for 45 minutes and have a conversation and then figure out what you're going to buy. Or, you know what, you're just going to hang out because you've made a connection with those business owners and their community members. Some of my business owners downtown are actually my neighbors. And we didn't find that out till about 3 months later down the road after I got that. And now I get to see them on a regular basis outside of work, hanging out and things of that nature. And so I'm just going to talk through some of these pictures here as we go through. So the bottom left picture there, where you have the 4 gentlemen there, that is a partnership that I started. So I went to Mass Bay Community College and spoke at a human services class, and just wanted to get more people, more volunteers. The organizations downtown wanted connections. So I went and found connections and presented. And I found a young student by the name of Gabe Colorado, and he has been just soaring with the work. And so one of his small projects to start were to work with this organization downtown that was providing resources, either resume building, renter's assistance. They were doing workshops and interview skills. And so what else do they need on top of just some of these supports? Well, they need to feel confident when they're going for a job interview, right? And how do people feel confident? Is they get a haircut. they get a shower, they feel nice about themselves. So this young man was able to go around with myself, and we were able to connect with barbershops and hair salons to provide free haircuts once a quarter for this organization. So now once a quarter since last year, we've been able to give out 56 haircuts, rotating 6 different barbershops or hair salons, and giving the businesses visibility, but also giving the residents and community members the support that they need. And the resources that they might not have the amenities or needs to get is we don't want to create that barrier for them. And nor do the businesses want to have that barrier for their community members that might be living next door to them. So they really, really took that and spearheaded that and really ran with it. The top left picture is last year. That's our 5th annual Oktoberfest. So historically, Oktoberfest was in October. Go figure. But after talking to Jack's Abbey and understanding that Oktoberfest actually starts in the middle of September and goes through October. So we decided, let's bump that up into September where the weather's a little bit warmer, people will still come outside, and it's during Hispanic Heritage Month. So what we did was we found a Latino pop band, a local Latino pop band from the south side of Framingham to perform at Oktoberfest last year. And it was amazing. Some of the residents and the community members and their family came out and they said, wow, this is the first time I was able to see them perform, because they're always traveling. They're always going somewhere else. So to give these local residents the stage for their young kids to see them perform was the connection and support is unwavering of just how excited they were to see their dad perform on stage. Even if it was a little platform, it was still a stage for them to see their father perform, which was really, really exciting. And they performed just about a month ago at our Spring Fest, which we also had a Brazilian choir group and a Puerto Rican choir group sing their respective national anthems as well. So we're really looking to bring more representation to our events collectively, so it feels really holistic in our approach. The middle picture there is an outreach program we had at Power Brazil Bakery on 135. And and Mass Bay reached out and they said, hey, we're starting ESL classes and we know there's a need for this. But how do we get to community members? We don't want to just send an email, a mailer. How do we get out there? So I worked with some of the local bakeries on Saturday mornings. We set up a table and tent and information in their parking lots, and we connect with community members, and we just talk and give information in their respective languages so that they can actually converse and ask as many questions so that they can access that information. Since then, Mass Bay has actually filled all 4 of their ESL classes so far. So they actually have a waiting list on their ESL program right now. So they're looking to expand their offerings with more teachers and more classes because they see that there is a void that still needs to be filled. The top right is just another picture of our Oktoberfest and Springfest, just showing that there's people downtown enjoying themselves during the day, hanging out. It is more than safe. It's more than inviting. We welcome you to come down. If you want to have a tour, give me a call. I'll leave my card. I'll leave my information. I'd love to walk you all around, show you some of the beautiful businesses, the flower shops, tell you what meals and deals we have going on downtown. I'll go really, really quickly. Let's see if I can go off the top of my head. So Tuesdays, you can get $1.25 fried chicken at Pollo Royale. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's all-you-can-eat sushi at Sam's Sushi. There's Monday through Friday, there's a lunch special at Sam's Sushi for $20. At Exhibit A, you can go and get a growler and a tumbler for, depending on the price of the beer, you get a nice little combination pack there going on. And Jack's Abbey has local deals each and every weekend. They're bringing out new beers. They just produced Porch Fest and a new lavender haze or something like that. I won't go through the whole list. But there's a lot of stuff down there. And again, I'm more than happy to give a tour, personal tour, one-on-one, small group, what have you. It's exciting and I want to show it off. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And then lastly, there on the bottom right is a fundraiser we did at Jack's Abbey for their anniversary party last year. So that, hey, we want to connect more to the community instead of just being a brewery. So how do we do that? So on the Saturday during their anniversary weekend, we created a dunk tank fundraiser where we had local organizations bring their local leaders or their executives to the table and sit there and get dunked. So This picture right here is State Representative Priscilla Souza attempting to dunk Deputy Chief Sean Riley. She did succeed. So last year we had both of them sit down for varying organizations as a fundraiser for those local charities, right? So we want to be able to help the local organizations that are in the downtown area as well. So being able to connect them with Jack's Abbey, to connect them with local leaders, is something that they don't have to think about, but it's something that is going to boost up their organization and the downtown environment as well. So be on the lookout this year for Jack's Abbey's anniversary party, and hopefully Deputy Chief Riley being up on the dunk tank again. And I will leave it there for any questions, comments, concerns that anyone might have. Thank you.
Please raise your hand if you have a question. I have a question that I thought of earlier. What is downtown doing about parking?
Great question. So what we are doing about parking is there's a few different programs going on right now, or opportunities. So Daniel's Table over on Pearl Street is currently doing a renovation to their building, and the parking garage that is non-existent or existent depending on the first floor or not, but they have worked with the city to come to an agreement that they're going to work and put some money into that parking garage so that we can have an additional parking garage that's working in that area. The city is also, and please Susan, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, so the Regional Justice Center will be coming to the downtown Framingham area. They'll be taking over the old Danforth building. So the city did do a land swap with the state. So the city is now working with the state to create the Regional Justice Center downtown, and they're putting in a parking garage behind the current City Hall building in that parking lot, and it's going to go up. We're 6 floors, okay, 6 floors of parking. Additionally, Franklin Street, Frederick Street, Kendall Street, you can park there. No parking meters on either side of the road for 2 to 3 hours, just not the first Tuesday of the month or you will get towed. I did run into that issue myself when I first started working. And then additionally, we're working with the property managers and property owners to help put some money into their parking lots as well, understanding that if there's better parking, people will come. Stuart, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, absolutely. We have a question here.
Regarding the parking, I don't know if Framingham has a program for senior citizens, which a lot of us are. You can get a sticker on your car, and you can park at any place downtown in Framingham for 2 hours for free. So if there's a meter and you don't have money for the meter, you can park for 2 hours. It's great. And all you have to do is you call the police station. They'll tell you where to go. I'm not sure the office used to be right at the police station, but I think her office has changed.
Oh, thank you for that. I'll definitely follow up with Chief Lester Baker on that, for sure. It's actually really good information.
Hi. I'm wondering about handicap accessibility at Jack's Abbey, because I've been there and the parking's pretty far, and I'm not on wheels, I'm just disabled. Very hard to get in there, and I love that place, so wondering.
Yeah, it's a good question. There actually is current conversations with Jack's Abbey to look at their current parking situation. I know that they did add some of their outdoor seating and they extended their patio, but I think they're looking at, after talking to them, at how that kind of impacted their customers and the consumers and the residents. So I think they're looking at how that is impacted. I know that Clinton Street, though, is a private way, and I don't know how that impacts being able to put handicap spots specifically on that road right in front of Jack's, but I will definitely follow up with that for sure.
Hi. I have a question about what the projects might be happening at the Barry Dennison location and what the timeline might be for that and what the future looks for that area.
No, it's a great question. So the city actually just did their groundbreaking ceremony about a month ago, and so currently Mary Dennison Park is blocked off. They're currently doing the land remediation, and that's first. They're going to do the land remediation and cap all the lead points and everything like that. And what they're looking to do is they're going to be putting in multiple basketball courts with a futsal component into it, and so that means that there's a actual button that you can click, and where the goal comes up from the ground on the basketball court, so it's actually a dual space to be used. There's going to be a couple baseball, softball fields, a new playground that is installed. There's going to be a volleyball access point, and they're expanding that parking additionally. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, is there a splash pad? And there is a splash pad component as well. Additionally, while that's happening, though, is also the Arlington Street Park that as well is happening simultaneously as those two projects are happening. I can definitely share out the park proposal and the plans to Stuart so that you can read up more on that. There is a very extenuous project proposal that you can read up more and see the specificities.
Thank you for coming. What is it that you're going to do to reach out to people who are unaware of all the things you talked about? For instance, I don't know how many people know about the different dinner meals you talked about, or even go downtown. I know when we first moved here about 25, 30 years ago, we would go downtown and we'd look at people, mention it to friends that we had here. They say, "Oh, we don't go downtown. Who goes to those restaurants?" My point is, flyers aren't such a bad idea sometimes.
Yes, I can definitely start getting those flyers out to this group, printed material and or digitally as well. Additionally, if you're not on our newsletter and you would like to be on our newsletter, I will send out that information to Stuart as well so that you can be up to date on that information. And then additionally, if you follow us on our social media pages and our websites, we keep everything up to date on there as well, which is all ran by our student interns. So we currently have 5 student interns, 2 from Framingham State, 1 from Mass Bay, and then 1 from each high school, Keefe Tech and Framingham High School as well. But if I can definitely get that printed material out and digitally. But if you would like to be connected on our newsletter, please let me know.
I got the impression you have your own website, but is there a website that a resident or anybody can get onto that can see all the little deals and, restaurants, what's happening?
On our website, if you go into those restaurants, we do embed some of those deals in there so that they are accessible. But we do also post them on our Facebook as best as we can. But I'll make sure to really get those regularly available up there so you don't have to go digging too deep for it. We also do have a collective page on Facebook that says Go Downtown Framingham, where the businesses promote their own deals on there as well, so they have access to promote their own specials if I'm not able to find it, or they forget to send it to me, or my intern just didn't post it in time. And again, I can share that information with Stuart as well, so everyone has all the links as possible. And again, I was not being facetious. If people want to go on a walk, please do not hesitate. I would love to take people out on tours and walk around.
Hi, thank you for joining us this morning. I've lived in town for over 40 years, and I've heard conversations for probably 40 years about taking the tracks in downtown Framingham and lowering them. Still not done, and I was just wondering if it's ever going to be.
How do I answer this? Well, first off, there is still conversations about trying to figure that out. Do I think that's ever potentially? I'm not really sure, because you're looking at potentially like a big dig happening in the center of Framingham to depress that crossing. I do know that there is conversations about putting a crossing going over for the walking trails in the downtown Framingham area. The city is currently working on the Chris Walsh Trail that is going around Farm Pond. They're in phase 2 currently, which is coming into the hub of the banana lot by the commuter rail, that then hopefully that if they can go over 135 or somehow get a nice crossing to go there into the Upper Charles Trail that goes through Republic Plumbing, through 126, all the way following parallel into Ashland and to Sherborne. I can't say that there's more information about depressing the crossing or not. but there is conversations about it.
Just want to say it's quite a journey that you've made. Pretty impressive, school and working at the same time. Your enthusiasm is very infectious, and Framingham is very lucky to have you. So when I go to downtown Framingham, and when I bring friends to the restaurants, they say, "What's going on?" Then I say, "What do you mean?" And they say, "All the traffic." So just wondering if there's any, maybe the timing of the lights or something, what can be done in terms of the steady, always traffic?
So most recently, maybe not most recently, but in the last 4 months, I did go to a community listening session that the police chief was at, Chief Baker, where he was actually talking about some of the side streets, not specifically like 126 and the timing of the lights and things of that nature, but alleviating some of that traffic flow of the side streets, of cutting through and pass-throughs, and creating some of those streets to be potentially one ways to alleviate some of the speeding and cutting through from community to community and helping with that traffic flow. Now, I don't know if that would help or not. I think that's a larger traffic study and things of that nature, but I do know most recently within the last 6 months, Chief Baker did mention something about having some sort of community session to see if that would be beneficial or not. Definitely not a Rotary coming back. I hope not. All right, well, thank you all very much. I really appreciate it.
One of the many things that the city does have is for the city of Framingham, Sue Petroni produces a weekly newsletter, and I'm just going to have you tell it about it because I have found that a lot of people within the city or within the community are unaware of it. It is very, very informative. It does include information about downtown because the organization that Mr. Shah works for is supported by the city of Framingham. So it is something that can be promoted through that. Okay, so Sue's going to take the mic just for one moment.
Yes, I prefer not to, but I will. Good morning, Susan Petroni. I'm the Public Information Officer for the city. In last October, the city started a newsletter. It comes out every Sunday night. You can register for it. It's an email address. It gets emailed directly to you. This will be week 33 that will come out tonight. I will send the link to Stephen and Stu so that you can sign up for it. Basically, it's a weekly recap of everything that's happening in the city. Parking, I'm just going to add, the city has a public parking lot near Autobright, and there is also the banana lot that you can park in after hours. And somebody mentioned traffic. The city is advertising for 3 people who would like to volunteer for the Traffic Commission. So if you have lots of complaints about traffic, we're looking for 3 volunteers.
Thank you, and I appreciate Sue standing up because she likes to be behind the scenes, so we value this. But it is a very worthwhile newsletter, and it is very, very informative, and it keeps it to what's going on within the city, and talks with the mayor and activities that you can get involved in, etc. So, all right, thank you both very much.